Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I am here with May the 31st. May I Scraplift You? The last May I Scraplift You for the month of May. And we are scraplifting, or I am, and from the list from Crystal is Janet G. Scraps. And this fun layout. Now she has 3 bigger pictures. I am using 5 small ones. This first picture is my grandson with sand in his hairline. And then 2 of him in the bathtub, or bath sink I should say. 1 in his little bath towel. And then what happens after a bath? He passed out cold. I am using Chamel's Reasons to Smile because this definitely gave me reason to smile. Also, it's stressful because you're old and he's not old. At this time, he was barely sitting up very good. So I have a project pad for this collection. This is an alpha sheet. You can't really tell, but it's alphas. I got lots and lots of ephemera for this, but I really am not going to use too much from here. I've got these cute little alphas, the sticker sheet, the title sheet, and then I have these like Sticko and Paper Studio stickers. These are older, probably 2009, 10. This right here, couldn't tell you how old that is. I've had those for a long time. I got a bunch of them in different kinds. And then I have some Tim Holtz stamps that I want to use that kind of made me think of water, bubbles, things like that. So, and I'm going to use my Chip Sapphire. So I've got my papers and some scraps, embellishments and ink, and then I've got my pictures and this awesome layout. So let's see how this goes. So I'm just going to start with a normal white cardstock. And I usually try and get my cardstock at Joann's. But, well, I guess I'm going to have to find a new home for buying cardstock. Occasionally I'll get it at Hobby Lobby. I'm not as big a fan of going in there as much as I used to be. But I definitely love to go into Joann's. So I bought as much as I could find when they were going out of business. I know they're sloped right now here for a couple of more. Well, the day that this posts, they will be closing, I believe, everywhere. So I start with this Tim Holtz stamp that kind of looks like splatters, and then do the little circle, kind of makes me think of bubbles. And then I come in with this other one that's kind of like a different shape, but almost like little, drops or splatters. Kind of almost makes me think of like coffee beans or something, but it's some kind of oddly shaped ovals that are fun. And I love a distressed look, and so that makes me feel better. And I do a different amount of saturation all over the page so that you're going to see lots and lots of that coming out from the top and the bottom. Now, I wasn't sure what paper I was going to use with this collection. I wanted to use scraps, so I have this orange scrap. I ran out of space for them to be matted, so I just, what I call Frankensteined, a mat for this last one, and you cannot tell that it is 2 separate pieces of orange. I just make them flush and cut them down, and then I am going to be just putting those down on this teal paper that was a scrap. And then I'm going to tear that off at the edge and put it down. So I made this paper, this one with all the little drops on it, I made that too wide. I am going to tear it down a little to make it less, but also I put these strips right here, which came from the 6x8 paper pad. I made those too high. So I ended up pulling them off. I almost tore my paper. I'm giving you the pros and cons of scrapping like me. I am in like on the fly, random, kind of crazy without measuring. The pros are sometimes you get done a whole lot quicker than if you measure everything out. The cons are there are times when you have to take things off and put them back. And this is one of those times. Luckily, it didn't tear enough to where I couldn't use it. I did almost forget to put my daggone ducks in there, and they're in a bubble bath. I'm not sure how well you can see that here. Oh, I'm going to trim that off a little bit. But up, in person, you can see the suds in the bath. Now, I know that one duck is almost completely covered. Like, you can see it, but, you can't see its face or anything. The other one, his little eye is peeking out above, and I'm fine with that. I didn't need it to be, like a main feature. I just kind of wanted to tuck it in there. I think if I'm thinking correctly, which could totally be off, I'm almost positive that this is something that I've had since before my son. I'm almost positive. I have a bunch of them. There's Sticko brand. I have one that's blocks. I have one that's like M&Ms and popcorn. Like the most random. It was a huge stack that I believe my sister gave me because she was my scrapbook supply dealer. She was always the one. She's the one who got me started, so it's only fair that she continued. But anyway, she bought it for me years and years ago. I can't remember, but it has definitely been a long, long time, and I've only used a handful of them. So on the original layout from Janet, there is a cut apart on the end of the strip of pictures, and I'm not going to have a lot of room for that because I did choose to do 5 little pictures, but I have this little journaling text, so I'm going to put that down there. So my title is going to have to go somewhere else, and that's fine. I do put this little oh no right above that picture of my grandson with the sand in his face. It's hard to tell. I mean, even in the picture. So I made a note of it in the little journaling space. But it was a 2x2, I believe, cut apart. And I just kind of loosely cut around it and tucked it above the picture of him with the sand on his face. And then I put like this little tag at the bottom of that middle picture. 1, because it's in the center and I want to label it there. 2, I put little like emojis over his business. And it looked, I mean, like there you couldn't see anything in the picture, like after I had cropped them and used the little emojis. But I also figured, I would cover up. I think I put a leaf or something down on there just because like I was sending it to my mom and to his mom and stuff like that. But so I just figured that would be a good place for that because it just covers up where the little leaf was. So here's where I'm trying to find a place to put the title. So I'm going to kind of turn it a little cockeyed here and just put Go with the Flow. I felt like that was a pretty fitting title for this layout. It was his very first time getting a bath in the sink. We were at the beach house. He had sand in his face. It was an interesting experience, especially since he's still not, well, he is sitting up by himself pretty good now, but like if you're in a wet space, it's a little bit more difficult. So, but there were these little bubbles from a Paper Studio, I think, collection, and I put those on here as a little extra, and some of them say things like bath or bubbles, and I got those on there. Did my journaling, covered my tag hole. I want to say, please go check out Janet G. Scraps. Her information is below. Please go check out everybody else who's hopping along with May I Scraplift You. I want to thank Crystal for putting all of this together every year and then monthly and making the list. I appreciate her so much. That is Pineapple Paper, so go check her out. I hope you will give me a thumbs up if you like this video and or my layout. I would love it if you'd come back and hang out with me. Subscribe if you haven't already. So since this is the end of the month, later on today you'll see a layout share from the month of May. And then tomorrow it will be the beginning of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. So I hope you will come back. Check that out. It should be here every day next month. I hope you all have a great day. I hope you get a chance today to do something you love with someone you love. And happy scrapping.